focus a little bit on your reference just a few minutes ago to Chester County issues. What do you find significant? What will you take to Harrisburg from and for the 157th District?
Well, I think what I take will, to a certain extent, depend on which area that we're talking about. I think the issues in Tredyffrin are not the same issues as they are in Phoenixville, although there are some certain similarities. One of the issues that I will take to on Phoenixville is the tremendous growth, the tremendous vitality of Phoenixville, particularly the downtown, but the fact that of the possibility of it being stifled by the lack of parking, the transportation problems, the mass transportation problems, which I think that I think Phoenixville has got phenomenal local progressive leadership. I think that they are doing a wonderful job promoting the town, developing the town. I mean, I was here last Friday for First Friday, and it was just a joy to walk these streets and see everything that was going on, even though it was a little bit loud. But it's supposed to be.
This is from somebody who did a noise ordinance some years ago?
Yeah, that's right. The noise in Phoenixville would never have survived that noise ordinance. No question about it. But it can only go so far without some state assistance. And of course, one of the things that I will do when I go to Harrisburg, if I can be presumptuous enough to say that, is get that state assistance. You have a serious parking problem. You have a serious mass transit problem in a number of senses. First of all, well, how do you get to Westchester? You take Route 23. Well, you know, I don't think I'd want to be on Route 23 in the wintertime, as an easy example. What kind of bus do you take to get to Westchester? I don't think you do. As I said, I have been knocking on doors in Phoenixville for 2 months now, and I think I've probably knocked on 40% of the doors in this town, and by the election time I expect to have knocked on 100%. But last Sunday, and normally when I knock I ask people what their issues are. Last Sunday I asked a young woman what her issues were, and she said to me, there's not enough parking at the train station. And I looked at her and I said, what train station? She said, Paoli. That speaks volumes about what this town needs. I said to her, what about a train station in Phoenixville with a connection in Paoli? I mean, she was ecstatic. Now, that takes me to Paoli and Tredyffrin, which has the Paoli station, and when I was a supervisor in Tredyffrin, I was on the Paoli task force. That I think the Paoli Railroad Yard is the key, or a major key, to the development of this area, and not just development in a controlled and an appropriate sense. I'm not talking a sprawl development. I'm not talking just the opposite. And if Paoli and Tredyffrin, the railroad yard is done properly, and they are, I've been there, and they are working hard on it. There are some issues there. Phoenixville hooks up into that, which I think, from what I understand, can be done. It is just a win-win for the entire area. I think Phoenixville will just mushroom when that happens. That I think is a major, if not the major, local issue.
Thank you for that. You have some broader concerns about Harrisburg and
Yes.
reform.
Yes.
A few weeks ago, you stood on the Capitol steps to talk about a reform package. Could you say a little bit about the background of that proposal?
Well, yes. I have been concerned, as I think probably all of us are, of the mindset or the manner in which business is conducted in Harrisburg by the legislator. And this is before the indictments came down. And that things aren't done the way they should be done. They're not done openly. There is a mindset that they can do whatever they want. There is what I perceive to be a disregard for the people. That the legislators, some of them, don't feel that they should be or need be responsive to the people who put them there. And about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 at this point, I'm not sure. I had a press conference on the Capitol steps to introduce what I called Penn CPR, a platform that the candidates put for reform, to bring out, it was 12 points that we felt were important that needed to be addressed to help solve or start solving this problem. I don't think, and none of us thought, that these 12 points are going to fix the problem, but our platform is what I called a work in progress. It's a beginning. What we need to do is get a critical mass of people behind this idea. You can put all the platforms in the world out there, all the wonderful ideas you want out there. It's not going to work until the people push for it, until the legislature say, enough.
Carol Rubley, our current representative in the 157th District, was essential in helping to put together a series of reform proposals through the Jefferson Initiative. Issued in 55 or 56 different pieces of legislation, not much action seemed to be going on. Why not? What's wrong?
Well, as I said, I do not want this to be construed in any sense as a criticism of Carol, who I think is a phenomenal representative for this district. But I think Carol's plan and my plan have a lot of similarity. What I hope to achieve, which she was unable to achieve, is the critical mass. I don't think the points matter. It's important that you go after the issues. But if you don't have the legislators or the people pushing it, it doesn't matter how good your points are. So I think that Carol's effort was right on. I think it was a great attempt. For whatever reason, she wasn't able to get the critical mass necessary to get traction on that issue.
Who stands behind Penn CPR now?
Well, I do. I'm not sure that answers your question.
What company do you have?
Me and whose army?
Yeah, that's right.
Me and
what's the size of the army?
Well, 20 plus, I believe. I don't know the exact count. I think it's 20 plus, but I expect...
and these are current candidates?
Well, yes, current candidates, and actually on Monday, Barbara McIlvaine-Smith, who is not only a current candidate, but also a current elected official, I don't know if I want to say signed on, but we had a press conference and she voiced her support for the plan.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what my number is, but my army is growing.
As plans are proposed and plans supported, plans debated, it seems it comes up against personalities and current wielders of power.
Yes.
Does Bill DeWeese have a future?
I don't think so. Based on current events and what's happened recently, I do not think Bill DeWeese can govern anymore. Well, he can govern. I don't think he can lead anymore. If I were a member of the House, I would not vote to support him. I think that for the good of the state and the good of the party, he should resign.